Can anybody tell me how they make it? So they take the vegetables, or they take the canola plant, they blend it all up, mix a mush, they throw a chemical into it to separate the mush from the oils, they skim the mush off, and you have your oils. And they add food coloring to it. Does that in any way, shape, or form sound beneficial to you? It's not natural. Okay? They're starting to come out with other alternatives like cold pressed canola oil. Well, any oils like that come from a plant, derived from a plant, you want cold pressed anyway. And most good fats that come from a plant are cold pressed, like olive oils, coconut oils. They're all cold pressed. Okay? There's no chemical added to it to separate them. Right? So that's what you want. As natural as possible. And the problem with vegetable and canola oil are a large percent of them are man-made, meaning chemicals are added to them to separate things. Okay? Now, like I said, they are coming out with like cold pressed canola oil, but I say why bother on the semantics of like what it is and what's good and what's bad, and you know for a fact what the good ones are. Right? Any questions on those? Okay? So let's go kind of outline in your packet of what we eat and what we don't eat. Okay? Now let's get a little bit more about what we don't eat and why. Okay, real quick. What we tell you generally to stay away from, guys, is grains, legumes, and sugars. Right? So let's start with sugars. Real quick and simple. Why don't we eat sugars? Well, it's refined. So basically, your body has to do absolutely nothing to it to process it through your body. So this is what it does. It just automatically converts it to fat. Converts it to energy first, and if the energy is not used, it goes over straight to fat, right? So that's why I say sugar. Okay? Just get out. I don't care if it's sweetener, agave, honey, it's all sugars, right? This is the only exception, right? Fruit. Fruit is really just fructose, but your body actually has to digest it, right? We don't eat dry. If you eat dry fruit, it's okay, but we're talking a very small amount. We're talking like 1 ounce of dry fruit. It's maybe like, I don't know, 2 pieces of a fig or something. And that's it. Okay? We want to stay with as natural as possible. Okay? Legumes. Who knows what a legume is? It's a bean, correct? Now, legumes is kind of here or there whether you can eat it or not. I say just stay away from it for 40 days and then incorporate back in your diet if you like. But here's the reason why we stay from legumes. Okay? Legumes have an anti-nutrient compound in them that when you don't cook it correctly, when you ingest it, so it's your intestinal lining, prevents the absorption of nutrition. So what does that mean? That nice expensive meal you just paid for, you pay for nothing except to fill up your stomach, and you benefit nothing from it. Okay? And here's the problem with legumes, right? And you know, so don't say anything. Who's cooked a legume before? Who's cooked beans? Right? How do you prepare it?
Soak it.
Soak it for what? A minute? Hours on end, right? Some people like 4, some people like 8 hours. It just depends on what you call for, right? And then how long do you get to cook it for? An hour?
No.
Hours on end, right? Okay? So there's a reason why. That cooking method is so it depletes that anti-nutrient. Okay? That is its own defense mechanism. That's how these plants and seeds stay alive, because not a lot of animals can eat this anti-nutrient. It's very, let me ask you this, who's eaten a raw peanut before? Like never roasted, never boiled, nothing. Try it. It'll be the biggest mistake in your life. You'll never want to do it again. And that's basically what legumes, I mean, that's its natural defense mechanism, right? Every plant has it, but legumes have a large quantity of it. Okay? But just to define what a legume is, besides just a bean, it's any seed that grows off a vine. What it really, so a peanut is not a nut, it's a legume, right? Beans, there's a few exceptions to the legume rule, and those are the pods, like green beans, sweet peas, all that stuff. But the actual like lima beans, char beans, whatever, all those beans, red beans, black-eyed peas, you name it, okay? And you can tell by the simple fact of the way they cook it, why. So we say if you didn't prepare it, don't bother. Okay, I asked one time, like, who makes legumes? Who knows how to make beans? And I asked him, how do you make beans? He goes, we can't put it in the microwave. I was like, no, sir, you don't know how to make beans. That's just heating up food. Okay? So, if it takes anywhere from an 8 to 24 hour process to make something edible, let me ask you this. Do you think, as a consumer, that a restaurant or whatever, a canning facility is going to take 8 to 12 hours to make it? No offense, but how do y'all have beans in your restaurant? From a can? Y'all make it? How long? 8 hours. Okay? So, they take hours, but do you think most restaurants are going to do? They're probably going to crack open the can and just heat it up, right? So, I don't know. So, that's, our point is, do you want to take that risk? Okay? I'll go to him since he cooks it and he tells me he does it. But every other restaurant out there, that's that crapshoot. So why take that risk is what we say. Okay? We say the more you prepare, the more control you have over this. The less you prepare, the less control you have over it. Okay? Because I don't care what people say, you don't know what they're putting into it. Wholeheartedly. Okay? Then grains, guys. Grains is anything from wheat to flour to rice to oatmeal, you name it. That's a grain. Okay? And why do we stay away from grains? Because we were not genetically designed to eat this. Right? Grains have only been in our system for what? About 100 years or so, 100 plus years? And we've been eating this way for thousands of years. Okay? There's not a single grain out there that's not processed. That's truth or fact? Or fact or fiction? It's true, right? Because nobody goes to the wheat farm and goes, oh, let me get some wheat and eat it. Right? Because what would you do? Break out the teeth in your mouth, probably. Right? So that's why I say stay away from grains, okay? Grains, some people have a gluten allergy, so you see this big old gluten like push. But what's the benefit of gluten-free if you're not allergic to gluten? It has no benefit, right? It's just another marketing ploy. But grains, guys, what it boils down to is it's a pro-inflammatory. When we consume it, it intensifies the propensity for our body to get injuries. So if you twist your ankle, it intensifies. Okay, so we say there's no benefit to grains except for fiber, and that's it. So why waste your time and money in this when this has everything you want and you don't have to take pills for it? Cool? Questions on that? I can go on and on, but it doesn't need to get complicated. This is why we're doing it. Okay? So do your best to stay away from this. Okay?
No, that was going to be my question.
Yeah. Huh?
So you're saying stay away from beans. That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, stay away from all this, if you can. And just see, give me 40 days, and then reintroduce your diet, and see what it does. Okay, because our body is an amazing machine. It can adjust to a lot of things. And if you eat a certain way for a long period of time, you'll never know. Right? Does anybody know anybody that has like this big old gut? They're not fat, they just got this big old gut. And it's hard. Right? You know what it's from? Wheat. It causes that. Bloating. That's a big cause of it. You know those people that have that big belly and they stay off the wheat, that's what happens. It shrinks down pretty quick. Okay? Any questions? Comments? Everybody's got?
So we can eat avocados,
Yeah.
but can you eat too much of them? Or?
So that's where we're measuring. We're going to get to the measuring part in just a little bit here. Okay? This is ideally what we want to do right here. This percentage right here. Okay? Cool? Everybody please read up on that packet. That's correct. That's correct. One thing I forgot to add on here is dairy, guys. Okay? Dairy, here's the problem with dairy. They're not, 90% of the time, it's not responsibly farmed. Meaning, dairy's got a bunch of antibiotics dumped into the animal, and guess what? You are what you eat. Whatever they put in the animal, you get it. You get it. Okay? So, we see high instances, especially in kids, because kids drink a lot of dairy, acne, behavioral issues associated because you're just drinking milk from an animal that has a bunch of crap in it. Okay? So, we say in dairy, cut it off for 40 days, and then reintroduce it back in your diet and see what happens. Okay? See what happens.